Welcome everyone and good morning. My name is Kelly. I own Dogkind and I specialize in confidence building for very fearful dogs. I've been talking about how we can use enrichment to build our sensitive dog's confidence for the last few weeks now, and today we're going to continue to build on that. Our topic today is building your dog's confidence by building an enrichment skills repertoire. So adding variety to the kinds of behaviors your dog can use to get good stuff in enrichment games. Just a little review, why are we talking about enrichment when we're talking about confidence building for fearful dogs? Confidence is not a behavioral term, so I'm going to try to translate it briefly into behavioral terms so that we can then address it using, the skills and techniques we know how to use to teach dogs things. So confidence is, behaviorally, we can think of it as an effect or a side effect of a history of success. And success isn't a behavioral term either, but in the context of dog training and teaching our dogs things, we can think of success as positive reinforcement. So getting good things using their behaviors. So big picture, if we want to create confidence using enrichment, we want to make sure that our enrichment games are very successful for our dogs, that they get good things, they're getting positive reinforcement for their efforts, and they're getting that at a high rate. So it's pretty easy, they're winning every time. Now, we want our dogs to be confident, not just at home or in their safe space, but everywhere. And that was the topic last week. So if you missed those videos last week, go back and check them out. I talked about how to generalize enrichment behaviors to a variety of contexts. This is our topic this week. We also want our dogs to have multiple strategies for getting good things in a variety of situations so that they can be quote unquote confident in these situations. In other words, we want to build many successful enrichment skills. Now, why is that? There are lots of reasons, but a couple are one, some behaviors might not be fit for all contexts. So if your dog only knows one enrichment game and it doesn't work very well, say in the space you have available in a certain situation, then, you're going to be kind of out of luck. So your dog needs some options and you need some options to offer them so that they have multiple ways to cope with different situations. The other reason that is top of mind for me, at least, is that we want our dogs to have something else to try if the first thing they try doesn't work. When we only have one way to do something, say on our computer, so technology is a common example of this, and we try it and it doesn't work, we get frustrated, and we don't want that for our dogs. And for our sensitive dogs, they may also become scared or worried if the thing that they thought should work is not working. So if your dog has a broad enrichment skills repertoire, they know lots of behaviors to try to get good stuff, then if one thing doesn't work, they don't have to freak out about it. They can move on to the next thing they know how to do. So what are some different enrichment skills? I'm going to give you 3 that you can try with your sensitive dog and a few video examples so you can see what it looks like. One of my favorites, and this constitutes multiple behaviors, not just one behavior, but sniffing and searching, so a sniffing game. And the easiest way to set up an enrichment game that elicits these behaviors, sniffing and searching, is by doing a simple treat scatter. Now let's take a look at our treat scatter example. So here we've got a little dog who barks a lot at the front door, and their guardian is going to do a treat scatter here, and the skills you're getting are sniffing and moving around. Those are the behaviors. And so that's an example of using a quick little enrichment game to help them get good things in a situation where they might otherwise be worried or kind of worked up. And here's another common one. If you have a dog who's uncomfortable, say in this situation, we've got one dog who is a little anxious around other dogs, and you've got both people who are handling or in charge of those 2 dogs doing treat scatters. So they're doing sniffing and walking around a little bit. Again, this is a little enrichment game you can use to get behaviors that are more desirable and that your dog likes because they're getting good stuff out of them in a situation where they might otherwise be behaving in ways that you don't love. That is the treat scatter example to get sniffing and searching behaviors. Licking or chewing behaviors are also really helpful for dogs who are worried in situations where you might not have a lot of space for them to move around in because these can be more stationary. And a really quick example of that, these two dogs in this video they have a safe room farther back in the house, and they're not that comfortable in the front room, or they weren't at this time. And their mom gave them licky mats basically to give them an enrichment activity to do to help them build comfort and confidence in this situation where they're a little uncomfortable otherwise.
Good boy.
So a licky mat's a really good, easy one for really sensitive dogs. Doesn't move, doesn't make noise. The final behaviors that you could give a try with your dog this week and see if you can't build out that enrichment behaviors repertoire a little bit are pawing and nosing. So using a dog using their nose or paws to manipulate a toy or some other enrichment game. And the easiest one for this, if you have a sensitive dog, especially who's kind of new to enrichment or is nervous about interacting with objects, is something like a folded towel. Let me show you an example. I think that's right here. So here's some nosing skills. This is Finn, and I can't remember if this was one of his first enrichment games and we were just testing it out, or if his mom was trying to give him something to do while there were construction noises outside. But all this is a towel with treats folded under it. And so the behavior you're getting here, while lying down, but you're getting just nosing, using the nose. And remember, what the confidence building aspect of this is this history of success. So Finn is playing with the toy, doing the behavior, getting positive reinforcement at a high rate. And again, folded towel, folded blanket, these are really good ones because not very intimidating to most sensitive dogs. They don't make noise, they're soft. So it's a nice game for them to start with when you're working on those kind of behaviors, nosing and pawing. Okay, so if you'd like to try this week, here are the three things to try. And if these are new to your dog, remember to start with them in a very easy location, like their safe space, somewhere they're totally comfortable. Later on, you can apply those techniques we talked about in last week's videos to generalize them to new situations. But make sure your dog is really good at them and has a strong history of success or winning the game, positive reinforcement, in their safe space or at home, wherever they're most comfortable. So try a simple treat scatter, and that can be just on the floor. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. Try a lick mat, and try treats folded in or covered with a blanket or towel. If you don't already have this free guide, Your Fearful Dog's first enrichment game, you can grab it at dogkindtraining.com/fun. All right, thanks so much for joining me, everyone. And again, if you have questions or thoughts, go ahead and just put them in comments below the video, and I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. Have a great week.